It's easier than ever to find a place to rent on a short-term basis anywhere in the world. But this relatively new business model has touched off a whole new way of doing business for another industry, the sex trade. Globally, there's a rise in pop-up brothels, and San Diego's tourism makes it a target for those both selling and buying sex. But these brothels are hiding in plain sight.
This one looks good. This one will do money.
And all I can think is, nobody knows where I am.
This fact-based drama called Doing Money tells the shocking true story of a young woman named Anna who spent 9 months as a sex slave in pop-up brothels in Ireland.
Do as you're told.
Anna was snatched off the streets of London in broad daylight. That's rare, but what happened to her once she was in the hands of sex traffickers was not.
And within 12 hours of being taken off the streets was in a brothel.
Producer Mike Dormer says Anna and all those like her are entrapped physically and mentally.
Once they're in the hands of the traffickers, once they've been moved from one place to another, they have no friends, no money, no clothes, no passports. They simply cannot escape.
Often kept cold, drugged, and hungry.
Is that toast? Can I have some?
You don't do money, we don't feed you.
And moved by the pimps from one short-term rental to another. The global issue of pop-up brothels is alive and well in San Diego.
We have this going on in the massage parlors, the motels, the hotels, and we also have it going on in short-term vacation rentals, in apartments, and in condominiums, and in homes.
Deputy District Attorney Carolyn Matzker is assigned to the San Diego Sex Trafficking Task Force. They've busted a pop-up brothel operating out of an upscale condo in Mission Valley. 2 people were arrested. A third adult was rescued who had been trafficked here from the East Coast through Los Angeles and into San Diego. These 2 pleaded guilty to pimping and pandering. The heads of the operation were prosecuted in Orange County.
It was a fairly well-sophisticated criminal organization that was running it. They had 2 people inside running the computers and running the security portion of it.
This task force officer was there for the takedown.
They had a call center that actually had a dispatcher that would tell the sex buyers or the Johns where to go, how to get there. They would give them a code to be able to enter into the building.
He says it all starts here on the internet. The girls advertise sex. After a John sets up a meeting, he'll get the location.
They'll get directed to go to a brothel, whether that's a condo, could be an Airbnb.
Sometimes officers follow the internet trail. Other cases come from neighbors.
If you have a lot of vehicles coming in and out, and they're only staying for about a half an hour, that could be indicative of a brothel.
And unlike guns and drugs, which can only be sold once, a person can be sold over and over again.
10 times a day, 10 times a night. They work all night long.
30,000 euros. I made it back in 13 days.
Isolated and totally under the fist of her traffickers.
She's dependent upon them for where she sleeps, where she eats, when she's allowed to sleep. And that's what we see here in San Diego.
Because she has to remember who she belongs to.
It is to prove I'm his little star. He branded you.
She is no longer her own person, no longer a human being. She's somebody's property. And that's why this is modern day slavery.
Anna escaped and contacted police.
Anna.
She testified against her traffickers. They were convicted and sentenced to 3 years.
We are everywhere. People only have to look.
On any given day in San Diego County, the DA's office reports there are 3,000 to 8,000 victims of sex trafficking. Doing Money, the story of Anna, played at the San Diego Film Festival last month. A panel, including local law enforcement, spoke about how they're tackling this issue. And last year in San Diego County, human trafficking was an $810 million industry.